Classmate, mabuhay! Welcome to our presentation on asynchronous learning versus synchronous learning. Let's dive in and explore the differences between these two methods of education. Hi! Hello! I am Catherine C. Pipito, but you can call me Teacher Kat. Together with me is...
Hi, hello. I'm Georgina Pila and you can call me Teacher Gina. Today, we'll guide you through our exciting subtopic. So our first subtopic is all about synchronous learning. Second is asynchronous learning. And lastly, we have synchronous versus asynchronous learning comparison. But before we jump into the content, let's start things off with a fun game.
Yes, very true. So before we begin, we have a quick activity for everyone. It's called This or That Learning Styles. Here's how it works. So we'll present two different learning scenarios. For each scenario, choose the one that best fits your learning preference by reacting with either a thumbs up for the first option or a clap for the second option. Again, we'll present two different learning scenarios. For each scenario, choose the one that best fits your learning preference by reacting with either a thumbs up for the first option or a clap for the second option. Let's see how you prefer to learn. Is that okay? Can I see a heart reaction if you're excited? Wow! All right. Since you're all ready, let's begin. For the first option, do you prepare live discussions with your classmates in real time? Or do you prefer to watch recorded lectures at your own pace? Wow! Next, we have this. Would you rather participate in a live quiz during class? Or would you prefer to take quizzes whenever you feel ready? Yes, very good. So here's the next one. Do you enjoy collaborating on a project in real time? Or do you prefer working on your part of a project when it's convenient for you? Wow, all right. So here's another one. Do you prefer asking questions and getting immediate answers from your teacher during class? Or do you like to send questions via email or discussion boards and wait for a response? Yes, and here's are the last one. So, would you rather attend scheduled live sessions where everyone is present? Or would you prefer to access learning materials anytime and study when it suits you best? Okay, wow. Did you enjoy the game? Can I see a heart reaction if you had fun? All right. Wow, it's great to see that everyone is enjoyed. Now, let's dive into our topic for this morning. So the connection between our activity and today's topic is understanding how different learning styles can impact our preferences for synchronous and asynchronous learning methods. So, what is synchronous learning? Synchronous learning is a learning modality where the instructor and the students in the course engage with the course content and each other at the same time, but from different locations. So it allows students to engage with class materials at the same time as their peers or classmates as long as they can connect to the internet. So in other words, synchronous learning uses web and video conferencing technologies like kanetong gigamit ron, the Google Meet, the Google Hangouts, or Zoom to create learning spaces. So it's similar to traditional classes. Like sa traditional classes, mag-check man ta sa attendance, no. Ari pod sa synchronous learning, maka-check sad ta sa attendance, lectures, and discussion periods. So a common type of synchronous classroom includes a live stream lecture that students attend virtually. Teachers or lecturers stream their presentations, and students can ask questions via using webcams, microphones, and chat box or message boards. So next, let's go with the benefits of synchronous learning. First, we can attend class anywhere. Yes, very true. So synchronous learning allows us to join classes from anywhere with an internet connection. So this flexibility means you can learn effectively without needing to be in a physical classroom. Kanya tong gibuhat, nata sa atong mga panimalay ron. So dili na ta needed mo adto sa atong school mag para mag para mag klase, di ba? So narata diri sa ato ang atong panimalay nag-attend og class. Next, we have the real-time Q&A and interaction. So you get immediate feedback and can ask questions during live sessions. So this real-time interaction help us understand the material better and clears up any confusion right away. Very true. Next, we have the instructor feedback and presence. So instructors can gauge your understanding and adjust their teaching in real time. So this personalized approach makes learning more engaging and responsive to your needs. Next, we have the keeps you on track. So with weekly tasks and live assessments, synchronous learning helps us stay organized and on schedule. So this structure keeps us accountable and ensures we're progressing as we expected. Yes, very true. Next, everyone is learning the same thing at the same times. So since all students are participating in the same lesson at the same time, it fosters collaboration and mutual support. So you can work together, share insight, and help each other out. Again, here are the benefits of synchronous. First, we have can attend class anywhere. Second, real-time Q&A interactions. Third, instructor feedback and present. Fourth is keeps you on track. And lastly, we have everyone is learning the same thing at the same time. Now let's go with the challenges of synchronous learning. First, we have the limited flexibility. So synchronous learning involves attending classes at scheduled times, which can be difficult to manage if you have other commitments or a busy schedule. So while live sessions provide structure, they offer less flexibility compared to asynchronous learning. However, recorded sessions of these live classes can sometimes provide a bit more flexibility for review and catching up. Next, we have the technological challenges. Yes, mga technical issues. So, technical issues can pose a significant challenges in synchronous learning. Problems such as unreliable internet connections, devices malfunctions, or software glitches can interrupt the flow of learning and make participation difficult. So to minimize these disruptions, it's essential to have a reliable internet connection and functional devices. Very true. Number one, gini ang mga technical issues no sa mga drawbacks sa synchronous learning. Kanang wala ta internet, mukalit tag burnout, malag ang ato ang phone or atong laptop, mukalit og restart atong laptop, yan murag na ghost ato ang cellphone, mukalit lag pisit-pisit bisag unsa. Next, the last challenge of synchronous, we have the potential for reduced individual attention. So in larger classes, it can be challenging for instructors to provide individual attention to each student. So this may lead to reduced opportunities for personalized feedback and support. However, many instructors use tools like chat functions or breakout rooms to address questions and engage with students more personally, which can help mitigate this issue. Now, let's go with the synchronous learning tools. First, we have the live chat tools. So these tools allow real-time text communication between instructors and students. Examples include we have the Slack, the Microsoft Teams chat, the Zoom chat, and the Google Meet chat. Next, let's go with a video conferencing. So platforms like Zoom, the Microsoft Teams, and the Google Meet enable live and face-to-face interaction through video calls, supporting virtual classes, discussions, and presentation. Yes, kaning Google Meet, no mo gining one sa atong mga ginagamit sa atong video conferencing, like magklase ta synchronous learning. Next, let's go with the live stream. So this involved broadcasting video content in real time to students. Platforms like YouTube Live, the Twitch, and the Facebook Live are commonly used for this purpose. Next, we have the collaborative online whiteboard. So these are digital whiteboards that allow multiple users to write, draw, and interact in real time. So tools like Miro and Jamboard are popular examples. Kaning Jamboard nakagamit naman tani no during sa atong music nga subject, right? Katong collaborative na group na to maghimo tag something note, right? Diba? Okay. Next, we have the polling and quiz tools. So these tools allow instructors to engage students with real-time polls and quizzes during a session. So Mentimeter, Kahoot, and Wordwall, and Google Forms are commonly used. Labaw na ni si Google Form. Mao gid niya nga to ang permi ginagamit if natay mag-quiz. Nasa tay ginagamit sa tong quiz ang Kahoot, kaniyang Kahoot, challenging kaayo. Okay, di ba? Oh. So now, next, we have the real-time document collaboration. So we have the Google Docs, the Google Slides, the Google Sheets, the Canva, the Microsoft OneNote, the Dropbox Paper. So this involves multiple users working together on a document simultaneously. So where students can co-edit and comment in real time. Very true. Kaning Google Docs nakagamit ta ani no sa atong paghimo sa atong presentation plan nag-use tag Google Docs. Labaw na ni ang Canva, nag-use ta ani sa atong mga presentation. Right. So now, before we go to another topic, I have some reflective or problem questions, and I want you to answer them. So please keep your answers and share them in the next face-to-face class. And if you feel like responding right away, you can post your answers in the class comment below this pre-recorded video. Here are the problem questions. How do you feel about the real-time interaction in synchronous learning? Second, what challenges do you face during live sessions? Okay, now for our next topic.
Hi, hello. So let's delve to our next topic, which is asynchronous learning. Now, what is asynchronous learning? Asynchronous learning refers to educational methods where students do not learn in the same location or simultaneously. It often involves digital and online formats such as pre-recorded videos like what we are doing right now, or independent tasks like modules or independent tasks. This approach extends beyond real-time instruction to include various forms of interaction like email exchanges, online discussions, and course management systems. Now, like synchronous learning, naasay benefits ang asynchronous learning. Una ana is flexibility. Asynchronous learning provides flexibility, allowing learners to access material independently without time or location constraints. So bisag asa siya, pwede na niya ma-access ang material sa aning method of learning. Next is budget-friendly. Asynchronous learning opportunities can help alleviate travel expenses, and they can also reduce or possibly eliminate space rental fees and other. And next benefit is scalability. So asynchronous learning streamlines teaching for multiple students, offering efficiency by allowing instructors to teach one for many. So this minimizes resource demands, saving time and cost while enabling instructors to allocate attention to other priorities. Now, for example, Ana, if ako na ako'y 5 classes, so if sa aning mode of learning, kaisa ra ko mag-record sa ako ang video or discussion, then pwede na nako na siya i-send sa akong 5 ka klase. So, mo na siya isa ka benefit sa asynchronous learning. And lastly is the availability. Not only is asynchronous learning considerate of learner schedules, but it's also considerate of their differing learning processes. So again, the benefits of asynchronous learning is flexibility, budget-friendly, scalability, and availability. Now, since naaman tay benefits, naasad na challenges, of course. So, unsa man ang mga challenges sa asynchronous learning? One, first of that, is the student motivation required. Possibly, the most challenge is that if the learning event isn't happening at required time, it means that the execution or completion is now the student's responsibility. So, one of the most important skills that students need is motivation. So, naana na sa students, so sila na ang mo-manage sa ilahang time, sa ilahang self, sa ilahang paghimo sa activity since nakasalalay na sa ilaha ang task. And second is difficult to adopt. Adapting to asynchronous learning is tough. In traditional classes, if many students are struggling, the teacher can slow down and give more help during class. But in online learning, without live interaction, it's harder for teachers to adjust and make sure everyone understands when needed. And the third one is that easier to lose focus. Staying focused in asynchronous learning is tougher. Without live activities and interactions, it's hard to keep learning because as we all know nga karon uso na or grabe na ang technology no kanang mag-multitask na gyud ang mga students. No, is it correct? Yes, kay bisan pag himo mong activity diha, pwede ra gyud mo mag-scroll og lain nga app like Facebook or Messenger. So possibly mawala gyud ang focus nato sa ato ang gihimo na activity. And last one is prolonged feedback timeline. So waiting for feedback in asynchronous learning is frustrating since learners can't choose when to ask questions. There's a delay in getting answers. If a question comes up with the educator isn't available, it can stall progress. Yes, kay if ever naakay ka nang gikalibga no, then you will chat the teacher, then dili pa available ang teachers. Unlike sa synchronous learning, nga pwede ra ka mag-raise hand sa imong virtual hand and ask the teacher immediately and maansiran rasad ka sa teacher. So, mo na siya one challenge sa asynchronous learning. And now we have here the tools that are used in asynchronous learning. Una is the Flipgrid. It is a tool where educators can post video prompts and students can respond and view their classmates' responses. Second is the MindMister, a tool that allows students and educators to view and generate notes. Third, StudyStack, a tool that allows students to create and share flashcards. And the last one, Google Classroom, a tool provided for creating, distributing, grading assignments simpler. So among the four tools, most common nato jud ani is the Google Classroom nga maoy atong ginagamit karon. Okay. So I have also here a question to reflect. And I want you to answer them. If you please keep your answers and share them in the next face-to-face class, or if you feel like responding right away, you can post your answers in the class comments below this pre-recorded video. Based on your experience, how did the flexibility of this mode impact your engagement and understanding of material? Again, based on your experience, how did the flexibility of this mode impact your engagement and understanding of material? So I am expecting your answers, everyone. Now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the comparison of the two modes of learning, synchronous versus asynchronous learning. So I have here prepared a table, no? And we will compare the two modes according to its features. So first, Anna, is the definition. synchronous learning is a learning that occurs in real time with all participants present simultaneously, while asynchronous learning is a learning that occurs at different times with participants accessing materials and complete learning like live sessions, seminars, virtual classrooms, or video conferencing. On the other hand, asynchronous learning kay muna siya mga pre-recorded lectures like ani atong gibuhat karon, online modules, discussion forums, or self-paced assignments. The next one is interaction. So sa synchronous learning, high level of interaction between instructor and students and among students. While sa asynchronous learning, limited ang real-time interaction but opportunities for asynchronous communication and collaboration. Yes, kaysa asynchronous, no, students pwede raman mag-chat-chat, pwede ra sad sa sa chat, pwede ra mangutana. So, ma-foster gihapon ang communication ag collaboration. Next one, in terms of flexibility. So, sa synchronous learning, less flexible requires participants to be available at specific time. So, dapat on that particular time, naa ka. Kung wa ka, absent ka. While in the asynchronous, highly flexible, allows students to learn at their own pace, at their own schedule. So, ang student ang magbuot kung ano saan niya na buhaton ang activity or ano saan niya paminawon ang pre-recorded lecture. Next one, time commitment requires dedicated time. Yes, kay if dili ipud ka mo dedicate og time, syempre absent ka. So, need nimo ihatag na siya nga time. Like for example, sa karina oras 9 to 10:30 dapat naa ka or available jud ka ana nga time para mo attend ana nga klase. And sa asynchronous can be completed in shorter bursts or spread out over time. So again, magdepende gihapon sa estudyante. Next one is the accessibility. Sa synchronous, it can be challenging for students with time constraints or geographical limitations. So sa accessibility, syempre, dili tanan nagpuyo og city, dili tanan kanang naay internet connection, good internet connection. So, challenge good sa mga students. And while sa asynchronous, more accessible for students with diverse schedules and locations. Yes, kay if sa asynchronous man good, naa pa kay time or depende nimo kung ano sa aka mo adto sa place nga naay internet. So, dili ra kaayo siya pressure para sa students. Next one is engagement. Sa asynchronous, it can be more engaging with motivating with immediate feedback and interaction, while sa asynchronous can be less engaging if students lack motivation or struggle with time management. Next one, in terms of learning style. So synchronous is best suited for students who thrive in structured environments and prefer live interaction, while sa asynchronous, best suited for students who are self-directed learners and prefer flexibility. And for the last feature, we have the examples. The example sa synchronous learning is the live lectures, online tutoring sessions, group projects with real-time collaboration, and sa asynchronous learning, online courses, self-paced modules, discussion boards, and flipped classrooms. Alright. And regarding ani na comparison, no, there is a research entitled The Study of Impact of Synchronous and Asynchronous Settings of Online Teaching and Learning in Higher Education and Students' Learning Experience during COVID-19 by Fabrice S. 2021. So sa iyang study, iyang gi-imply nga from the student's perspective, the teaching methods involved in the two settings of teaching and learning differ with regard to their potential to support social interaction and to support basic psychological needs as proposed by the self-determined theory. So sa ilahan na study, ilang nakita na ang students, same ra ang ilahang treatment sa duha ka learning mode, pero mo matter lang gyud daw sa support. Like sa na social interaction support kay di ba sa synchronous ma-motivate man jud ang student since live discussion man siya, unlike sa asynchronous nga iya-iya siya nga pagbuhat sa activity. So dili kaayo makita ang kanang support, dili kayo ma-encourage ang students kay wala man ang peer. So mao to siya sa anina topic. So before we'll end that, I have a question. And same kanina, you can keep your answers below this pre-recorded video. So ang atong question, or my question is that, which mode of learning do you find more effective and why based sa mga data or sa information nga nahatag nato kanina? Again, which mode of learning do you find more effective and why? And I also have here a concluding question. How does synchronous differ from asynchronous in terms of impacting students' motivation and engagement? Again, how does synchronous differ from asynchronous in terms of impacting students' motivation and engagement? So you can answer it during our next meeting, or you can type your answers in the comments below this pre-recorded video.
All right. Thank you, Teacher Gina. So now, here's our activity for today. Choosing asynchronous versus synchronous learning. Now, to assess your learning from today's topic, please answer this Google form by accessing the provided link. And that would be all, and have a good day. Again, I am Catherine Pipito, and together with me, Georgina Pila.